So this is section, what section is this? 8.1. So this is what your number one will look like, okay? It's going to give you a polynomial, a list of terms like this, and then it's going to ask you several questions about it. If you'll recall, we did this several sections back, and it's not bad at all. So what it wants to know first is what is the leading term of this polynomial. So what you're going to do, even sometimes they may or may not be in the right order. So you're going to make sure that the leading term is the term that has the highest exponent. So here is my leading term. The term is the whole thing. It's the coefficient, it's the letter, it's the exponent, it's the sign, it's everything. So the leading term is this whole thing, negative 1/4 x squared. Now, the second thing it's going to ask you is what's the leading coefficient? Now, the coefficient is simply just the number part of that term. So the leading coefficient is negative 1/4. It's asking you, the next thing it'll ask you is the degree. Let's talk about the degree. You go through and you look at the exponents, and then you just find the highest exponent, which is this 2. Whatever that highest exponent is, that's what the degree is. Now, the degree helps you answer this last problem. It's going to be a multiple choice. It's going to give you a little drop down, and you're going to have to decide whether this polynomial is linear, quadratic, cubic, or quartic. And I think it also says constant. So let's see. Linear would mean the highest exponent up here. You would just see the highest one would just be an x. Quadratic, the highest is x squared. Cubic, the highest is x to the 3rd. Quartic would be x to the 4th. And constant, there wouldn't even be an x. You would just see a number, okay? So, and we don't have any of those. So which one of these is this? What's the highest exponent or the leading term? It's an x squared. X squared means it's what? It is quadratic. Now, the other ones are almost all exactly like this. Let me see if there's anything you might, every single question is the same on these. Okay, I'm going to go to number 7. And it's the only reason I'm doing this number 7 is because it just gives you the things out of order. It's going to ask you all the same kind of questions. So let's see. On number 7, you'll see one that looks like this. H of x equals, then you'll see negative 3x plus 8x squared plus x to the 3rd power, x to the 3rd. So let's see, these are out of order, right? If you want, you could rearrange them and put them in the right order. We don't necessarily have to for this problem. So the leading term, remember, you're going through and you're looking for the term that, it's not the term in the front, it's the term with the highest exponent. So that x to the 3rd is your leading term. It should be up front. So that's your leading term since it has the highest exponent. Now, what's the leading coefficient? In other words, what's the number part of this? What's in front of that x cubed and we just don't see it? It's a 1, right? The degree, again, you're going through and you're just looking for the highest exponent. This is the highest exponent right there. It's the degree, it's the exponent of your leading term always. So the degree is 3, which means if it's an x cubed or degree 3, what is this polynomial? It would be cubic, right? It would be cubic since it is degree 3. And those are the, I'm not going to work all of them because it just gets really redundant, but those are the only ones that you are going to see like that. The only thing you're going to have to do is figure out the leading term, the leading coefficient, the degree, and then classify it if it's linear, quadratic, cubic, or quartic.